our clients.
What type of clients do you have?
We have, our clients are typically defense lawyers, and we do some work with some police departments. In San Diego County we've done work, and in Nevada. And we provide forensic testing services for these clients, along with clinical testing services to doctors, hospitals, and clinics.
Okay, you do independent testing?
We do independent testing, yes.
What's your educational background that qualifies you to be involved in this field?
I have a bachelor's degree from California State University, Northridge in biology. I'm licensed in the state of California as a clinical laboratory scientist, and I've been doing analytical toxicology for 31 years now.
How do you get licensed in the state of California as a clinical analyst?
Clinical laboratory scientist?
Yes.
It requires the educational background, the degree, and then you need to do a one-year training program at a laboratory or a hospital, and then you have a test, the clinical laboratory scientist exam that you take, and then you have to maintain 12 units of continuing education a year.
What kind of equipment do you use in doing these analyses?
Well, there's quite a range of equipment that can be used. Most of it's done on gas chromatography, mass spectroscopy. Some of it is LC, LCMS, LCMSMS, enzyme immunoassay, ELISA, which is enzyme-limited immunosuppressant assay, and many other technologies.
So there's many different types of technology that your company has to do these tests?
Yes.
Are you familiar with all these devices that they use to do the
Most
test?
of them, yes.
On August 31st, did you obtain a couple urine samples from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office?
Can I check the date?
Sure.
Yes, we did.
It's August 31st, 2011?
Yes, that's correct.
And one of those urine samples was designated as the scene urine and one designated as the autopsy urine?
That's correct.
Two separate samples.
Yes.
And on the scene urine, did you run a test for lorazepam metabolite or total lorazepam in that sample?
The test would have been total lorazepam. Yes, we
And what is included in total lorazepam?
That includes the lorazepam glucuronide and any free lorazepam that might be present.
Okay. When you analyze the scene urine, what we've been referring to as the 7 o'clock or 7:30 urine, what did you find in terms of lorazepam?
I'm sorry, you mean the total lorazepam?
Total lorazepam.
Total lorazepam. We found 12,974 nanograms per mil of total lorazepam, which is equivalent to 12.9 microgram per mil.
Did you also analyze the autopsy urine?
We did.
And what did you find in that?
That was 15,181 nanograms per mil, which is equivalent to 15.1 micrograms per milliliter.
Okay, so the scene, the urine that was obtained at the scene tested positive, and are these the numbers that you received when you did the analysis?
That's the urine from the scene. Those are the correct numbers for the urine from the scene.
Your Honor, what is our next exhibit?
Just a moment. I'm sure the jurors will tell me. Looks like Sierra, Sierra, Sierra. Correcto? Jury's indicating affirmative. Mr. Benson? Thank you.
Okay, I'm
Triple
marking,
S.
I'm marking the scene urine exhibit as SS.
S.
SSS, yes. And is this the results from the autopsy urine?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to mark that triple T.
Triple Tango.
Now, Mr. Henson, when it comes to, have you done any calculations to, let me see. I'm showing you an exhibit that's previously been marked as Exhibit Triple C, which has been identified by Dr. Schaefer as a blood level for lorazepam based upon 2 milligram injections at 2 o'clock and a 2 milligram injection at 5 o'clock. The red line has been represented to be the blood level that would be achieved over the time that it would be achieved. Do you see that?
I do.
And would you be capable, based upon calculations, of estimating how many pills it would take to be orally ingested, say at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, whether they're all taken at 7 o'clock, whether they're all taken at 10 o'clock, or a combination of times? Overall, approximately how many pills would have to be consumed between 7 and 10 to get to a level of 0.169?
Are you asking me if I have, or?
Have you done that calculation?
Yes, I have.
And what amount of pills and what variables would it take? Have you considered in evaluating the amount of pills it would take?
Objection beyond this witness's area of expertise, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain the objection, absent further foundation. And when you use the term pills, I don't know what.
Well, okay. Are you familiar
But in
with?
terms of foundation, please inquire.
In your qualifications becoming certified by the state of California, have you learned to analyze samples and determine the approximate amount of drug ingested to obtain certain readings?
As part of the analytical toxicology process, no. I have learned how to use the calculation to determine dosage to therapeutic level, yes.
And what do you use to make that determination?
There's a formula available.
What is that formula?
I don't have it with me here. It is a dose to peak formula that uses the volume of distribution of a drug or of a person, and uses the elimination rate and the half-life of the drug.
And do you make these calculations on a regular basis in the course and scope of your employment?
No, I do not.
This would be an unusual situation?
Yes, it would.
Do you rely on the text, the lorazepam description in the book by Basalt?
I refer to Basalt. Basalt does not have this calculation in it.
Well, does Basalt have the calculation that you would expect to obtain by the ingestion of one tablet, 2 milligram tablet of lorazepam?
It does not have the calculation, but it does have what you would expect from the ingestion of 1 milligram.
And do you rely on that book?
Yes.
And what would you expect from the ingestion of 1 2 milligram tablet of lorazepam?
Well, I would have to refer to Basalt. I don't have that memorized.
If I could have just a minute, Your Honor.
You may, sure.
I'm showing you an article titled Lorazepam. You recognize that article?
I do.
And are these figures that you rely upon in determining half-life, absorption life, and what you'd get from a 2 milligram pill?
What you get from a 2 milligram pill is published in the article. So is the half-life, and the volume of distribution is published in the article.
And what do you get from a 2 milligram pill?
According to Basalt, you're going to have a 2 milligram pill is going to have
from the article.
Yes.
Well, is there an objection, or do you simply want the record to
There's an
reflect?
objection, Your Honor.
The objection is sustained, the partial answer is stricken. You may disregard, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you familiar with that article?
Yes.
Have you reviewed it before?
Yes.
And have you relied upon it in determining the amount that you'd get from a 2-milligram pill?
Yes.
And as a result of reading that article, does it refresh your recollection as to what that amount would be?
Yes.
What would you get from a 2-milligram pill?
You would get point.
Same objection.
The witness appears to be reading, so the partial answer is stricken. Please disregard. You may turn over the article. If you need to reference it, you can let us know. But I think the question is calling for your own opinion. Is that right, Mr. Blank?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may re-inquire, please.
Mr. Henson, in your opinion, what would you get from the ingestion of a 2-milligram pill?
From a 2-milligram pill, you get .018 micrograms per mil.
Okay, and do you have a recollection of the half-life of lorazepam?
It's about.
Are we talking about absorption half-life?
Metabolic.
I'm going to have to sustain the objection. Re-ask, please.
Metabolism, burn-off, elimination half-life.
Objection relevance as to stomach absorption half-life.
I don't know in what context the
I
question is raised. Sustain.
Are you aware of what the elimination half-life is of lorazepam?
Objection vague unless we're specifying the absorption half-life in the stomach. That's what this chart refers to.
No.
All right, the objection is overruled. Do you understand the question?
I believe I do, yes.
You may answer it.
What is the elimination half-life?
12.9 hours.
Excuse me?
12.9 hours.
12.9 hours. And what does that mean, half-life, elimination half-life?
That is an indicator of how long it would take for the blood level to drop by 1/2, how much time it would require for the blood level to drop by 1/2.
So if a person had a .16 blood level of lorazepam, it would take 12.9 hours before it would go to a .08?
That's correct.
Okay. And is that number significant in your figure in calculating the number of pills that it would take to get to a certain level?
It's part of the calculation, yes.
Okay. And so, looking at that diagram that was prepared by Dr. Schaefer up there, does it appear that the level between 7 and 10 appears to be fairly consistently right around 2?
That's
O2?
appears to be about the same, a little lower at 10 than at 7.
But fairly close.
Fairly close.
And would you estimate it to be right around 2, plus or minus a little bit?
Hard to see on the chart, but it could be around 2.
You see where it says femoral vein concentration?
Yes.
I believe Dr. Schaefer drew that in to mean .169. Does it appear to be, as it's drawn, depicting a .169?
Yes.
And you see where it says not responsive to painful stimulus appears to be about a .18?
Yes.
And the other line where it says responsive to painful stimulus, just above a .15.
Yes.
Now, the difference between the .02 plus or minus a little bit at 7 and the .02 at 10 to the .169 concentration, is that approximately .149?
Yes.
Have you made the calculation as to what it would take in terms of lorazepam pills to go from a .02 to a .149?
This is area of expertise, Your Honor.
Sustain. Absent further foundation.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
You may.